everyone, this is Danielle Schneider with the Solomon Group at Coldwell Banker Action. Welcome to this week's episode of The Real, Wausau's Real Estate Podcast. I hope you are having a great spring so far and have been able to get out and enjoy some of the beautiful weather we've been having. Today I wanted to talk about the different types of septic systems, specifically in rural or country properties, and what you need to know about them. The first type of septic system I want to talk about is called a conventional system. A conventional septic system consists of a septic tank and a drain field. With this type of system, the wastewater from your home is sent into the underground septic tank. From there, the solid material settles to the bottom of the tank, while the liquids are sent throughout an underground pipe system where they are further filtered and finally sent out to the drain field. The drain field treats and disperses the wastewater. After the wastewater seeps through the perforated pipes in your drain field, it filters through a bed of gravel and then into your soil. Bacteria found in these layers break down the contaminants and clean wastewater is discharged into the groundwater. The state of Wisconsin requires that the septic tank be pumped and inspected every 3 years by a licensed inspector. However, you may need to have your tank pumped more frequently depending on the amount of wastewater your family produces. The next type of septic system is a mound. A mound system is essentially an above-ground holding tank and drain field. The entire system is contained within a constructed sand and gravel mound. These are a good option in areas where the soil depth is more shallow or the water table is higher. Similar to the conventional system, the mound collects all of the wastewater from your home, where the solid material settles to the bottom of the tank and the liquid material is filtered and slowly dispersed throughout the layers of material found within the mound. Unlike a conventional or a holding tank system that is buried underground, a mound system sits above the ground and requires a pretty substantial amount of space. Maintenance of a mound system is similar to that of a conventional, where the state requires inspection every 3 years. Pumping frequency, again, depends on the amount of wastewater produced. The last type of septic system is something called a holding tank. A holding tank is similar to a conventional system, with the exception of not having a drain field. With this type of system, all of the produced waste from your home is sent to and stored in an underground tank. It does not filter or break down any of the produced wastewater. A holding tank system can consist of either one large buried tank or multiple smaller tanks that are all connected to one another. This tank has a built-in alarm system that will sound when the tank is nearly full and requires pumping. Frequency of pumping depends on the amount of waste that your family produces and the capacity of the tank itself. You may need to pump out your holding tank every 4 to 8 weeks, but again, that can vary. For each type of septic system, inspection and pumping is required to be performed by a licensed pumper that will then report the date of pump, gallons pumped, and the name of the pumper to the CPZ or the Conservation, Planning, and Zoning Department. If a system is found to be non-compliant or failing, you will be required to bring your system up to code. For older systems that are no longer compliant, you may be required to install a completely different type of system. To determine what type of system your soil allows, you will need to have something called a perk test completed. The perk test is an evaluation of your soil and the rate at which it drains. This is performed by a licensed soil tester. Following the test, they will report the results to the county, who will then review and determine what type of system you are required to have installed. Certain counties may give you an option of what type of system will be allowed depending on your soil, while others could tell you specifically what type of system you are required to have. If you are in the process of a new build or have a non-compliant or failing system, it is always best to check with your county about the next steps to having a perk test and what they will require. I hope you have found this information helpful when it comes to different types of rural septic systems. Thanks for tuning into this week's episode of The Real. Have a great rest of your week.